Hi guys, in this video this week we went to a little structural work. It's got a crossbar, a round square bar. A square bar just coming around in here, and we started putting body panels on, preparing the gaps between, getting a nice flow between the lines. So there's a little idea of what we're getting towards and where we're looking, and we'll show you how we did it in this video. Hi, and welcome to Mike's Custom Garage. So today we're back on the Honda Accord again. Today's goal will be to start putting some structural on the inside. We're going to take these panels off. That's like just screwed intact. Got some screws on the bottom. We're going to take this off. We're going to run square tube inside to strengthen up the sides. So we're going to run square tube all the way around to the back in here. And we'll do the same thing on that side. So for now, we're just going to get these side panels off again, and we'll start measuring up some tube and seeing what we need to do to make this thing strong. So yeah, we're going to take everything apart and then I'll start getting it ready. So I got the panel off. First thing I need to do is open up in this channel. Gonna cut this out so that I have a 1 1/4 inch square stock that's gonna fit inside of here, but it needs to go all the way to the back. So we need to clear a channel out for that. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna make a channel that's deep enough to accept the 1 1/4 inch, the whole length of the body. And that will tie the quarter panels and the doors into each other and create some rigidity. And then those will also get welded down to the shock towers. So we'll cut all this stuff out along here, and then all of this will come together and be one. So let's get this cut out and then we'll come back. In here we have wires running. These will also have to run down inside now. So this piece here is going to have to get cut flat here. You don't want it to be way inside, so you want to keep everything tight to the body as you can, but you know you're going to have to keep it in line with the shock tower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up all of this stuff here and get this all trimmed up. And we'll get this taken out of here, and we'll cut this down enough to fit that channel in. And then we're going to start bending and welding square tube. So let's get to that. What I've done is cut the door back open, and I cleaned out a nice notch in here that I can lay the square tube in. So that still shuts. I'm going to measure how long the square tube I need, and then we'll cut the square tube short enough to fit in there, and then decide what we got to do with it. So it's a step-by-step process, but it'll add structure to the car, and that's what we want. So we'll cut the square tube, then we'll come back and put it in. Okay, we cut the square stock at about 6 feet. Plan is put it in here. Well, maybe not sitting that yet. I think I go in here. we're going to see where the bend needs to be. Okay, you could use one here. This will come out to about here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one here to bend a little bit for the door. And then we can come straight out till it's almost touching out here. Then I'm going to put a couple bends here. So I'm just going to notch it, fold it in, and then once it's folded in there, I can kind of curve it in. And kind of fit inside the quarter. It ain't going to have to be perfect. It's got to be close. This is all trial and error. I gotta go deeper. So I got a lot of temporary pieces right now. You can kind of get the visual though. So I just got a piece of metal put in along here. That'll be this here will be the front of the bed. I got some square tube that's bent to go around and give that shape. I made another piece just like the square tube for the other side, so those will be mirrored. And it goes back like that. So now what I have to do is cut the other side out and do the same thing. This piece here is just a little piece. It was too, I cut it a little too short. So it'll be good for fitting things up, but it's gonna have to make a new piece. Not a big deal. And then it'll just be a matter of coming in and putting all your edges in and getting things tidied up. But yeah, it's coming. Not sure how it's all gonna fit together yet, but one piece at a time. Yeah, we'll get this thing on the other side done, and then we'll be on our way. What I'm gonna do over there first, I'm gonna do the same thing I did here. Take the tape off first. I gotta cut inside of, see if I can see it in here, it's so dang bright out here. Gotta cut right along here, go straight across and over to here. Cut this piece up, get it out of my way, and then we'll be ready to start laying in the square tube like the other side has. So we got a few cuts on this thing, and then we'll start putting square tube in. Okay, we're going to cut this sail panel off and cut the welds down here off, cut these welds off, take the screws out, get this thing out of here. Then we can start doing the same thing we did on the other side, cut the door, get everything to fit so that square tube will fit in there. Because the big square tube's under the little one. So you go down in here, you see a square tube underneath. That's structural. This one here is gonna go to it. I'm gonna weld them all together and make them strong, make this thing strong. So, yep. There you have it. Let's get to it. So everything on this side should be the same as this side. So what I'm gonna do is take this all apart, make some measurements, and cut my 1¼ inch square. These came to like, I don't know, 10 or 12 foot lengths. Had to be 12 foot, I cut it in half at 6. So I had 24 feet of it, we should use probably 18 of it to get this done. So I'm gonna take the other piece back out, mark off everything so it matches 100%. And that should get us even on both sides. So let me take this thing apart and then we'll come back. Okay, so this is in now, fits good. What I did was I put a tack weld on the inside edge of all the cuts to make sure it stayed and it wouldn't move and it's not going to bend. Fit it back in, fits nice and flat to the door, that's what I was looking for. The rest of it will just flow as it does. And that'll be it for that section. What I'm going to do now is weld all these cracks up and grind them all down flat and make it look good. And then we'll move on to the inside sections. All right, just to show you the flex in the body, I just jacked it up. That metal was touching. So that's why we have to weld the doors shut to keep things from moving. So what I'm gonna do, keep you right there, I'm gonna lower the car. Watch that gap, close right up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jack it up till the gap's where I want it, which is a nice good gap. And then it should be the width of a cutting wheel, so that's pretty good right there. I'll double check, make sure my cutting wheel fits in there, and then I will weld this back up right here, and maybe I'll put a couple welds here just to keep things back here from in the back from moving. Okay, see, I'm using this cutting wheel like a feeler gauge. That's where I want it. So with that there, I'll weld the door back up, and then it won't move anymore. This will be the last time I open this door. So let's get the welder. Okay, you can see I tack welded that bar along the top of the door. Everything is temporary right now. Until I put this thing together, unless I find a spot that I can't get back to later, I want everything temporary so I can take it off if I need to. But yep, that's tack welded along the way here. Now that's welded. Yeah, and later on we'll weld this whole jam in. That'll keep it where it needs to be. Now, come back over here. Now I let the jack down. It'll stay. And that's what we want. So, there you go. So you can see how much this body does flex if you don't have it welded together. And this looks good here. We're gonna jump on the other side and do the same thing to that side. So here's the crossbar. This is gonna be the front of the bed. And what I wanted was a step from this to this height. This is the height of the rails that go along the side of the body. So what I'm doing is welding these two together. And then what I've done is what I'm doing here is I put an angle, a 45 on both sides, and that'll step it down nice. And see, we've got a couple spots to weld up in here, and that'll give us the height we want across the back. Like I say, from here I'll cut, it's 1.25 inches, so I cut 1.25 inches this way, cut an angle out from here to here, then the top piece, I'll fold it down, and it'll fill in most of the gap that we have at the end of the pipe. And then on this side, I'll do the opposite, come back 1.25 inches, and then so that this piece gets cut out from here to here. I think that's how I did. Oh, actually I went further back than that. Then I went 2.25 here. I went back 1.25 inches, and then I made the cut and brought it back. So we're gonna get this thing all marked up, and we're gonna cut the pieces out. Okay, now all the pieces are cut. We're just gonna weld up our edges. Take a visual, make sure that it's the same as the other side. It's exactly what I need it to be. Let's weld this up. Okay, so you can see I marked it. I'm gonna cut a piece out of here, a piece out of here, and then this piece off. So just gonna cut these little pie pieces out and set you up for that, and then we're gonna weld this stuff back together. All right, so here's the front bar that's gonna go across the bed. Right now it's too low. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab another piece of bar, I'm gonna lay it across, and this will give me the original height that I wanted. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clamp this bar to that bar, and then tack weld it in place. Okay, I'm using a long bar now across here to keep it flat this way. So now I know everything is flat, everything is straight. Now I'm going to grab the welder and do some tacking. Double check, triple check everything. Makes life so much easier in the end. I'm going to tack this side. Every time I move something, something else changes. So I've got it flat across here now. I've got it the right length in and out. Put a tack on here, then I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going to adjust that side. But it's in there solid. Okay, next thing I'll do is I'll have to weld the rest of this bar in, because once I put this panel over it, you won't be able to get there. So I want this welded on the door all the way across, so that's the next thing to do. Okay, so we brought the car inside. The sun beating down on us. It gets kind of warm out there. What we're going to do is I made another piece to go on here. That's going to fit right in along the side of that rail, nice and tight. And okay, this little gap there, we're going to cut and butt it right here. Going to trim it just a little bit on the bottom. Oops, I think it went a little far there, but oh well. We just can fill it back in, not a big deal. We're going to put this in and cut and butter it all the way along the edge here, and then cut it off at the edge. So let's get this here cleaned up, and we're going to trim a little bit off that edge there and start welding this in. Put this back in its place. The marks I had are still there, so all we gotta do is line it up. Okay, just double check my measurements. I'm good. Throw a tack on this thing. Okay guys, so it's all welded up. So this is just tack welded. We're gonna weld it 100%. It's all butt welded. That's just lap welded over. We gotta weld up the rest of all of this, and we'll get all of this panel complete. It's already getting stronger, so it's definitely coming along the way I want it to. Next week we'll attack the other side. Time wise, I worked on this Friday and Saturday. I had Friday off, so I worked Friday and Saturday on this. on a long weekend, and got about 12 hours more into it. So I mean, this obviously takes some time. Say it's, you know, take it apart, put it together, take it apart, put it together, try to get it all looking like you want to and the best that you can. So that's it for this week. Like I said, next week we'll hit this side and we'll get this side done. Like to thank my new subscribers, the old subscribers. I appreciate you guys very much. Please hit that like, hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed, and hit those notifications, ring that bell, find out when I'm putting up a new video. For you guys waiting on the other cars I'm building, they're not stopped. They're still working. I'm going to be putting out a few videos on the progress on those in between this. So like I said, usually I just work on this on Saturdays. So I'm also going to shows, you know, during the week. So I'm not quite as busy in the garage, but yet we're still working on the Jetta and the other Mustangs. And we're going to be putting out some more videos on those shortly. So don't stick around and we'll get to those soon. But for now, you know, we're still posting this every week to what we got done. And hopefully you guys like the content. But, yep, thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.